Hi everyone. I just wanted to share some tips I learned along the way that I found helpful. The first thing to go over are weapon sets. When you open up your passive tree, you'll notice at the top right, you will have an option for weapon set passives 1 and 2. This is a feature to let you reach passives on the tree that will benefit specific skills you want to use. In this case, if I wanted to add attack speed for my shield wall attack, I would click on weapon set 1 and add the passives, which will then highlight them in red. And for my Warcry bonuses, I would click on weapon set 2 and add in the points here to benefit my Fortifying Cry, which will highlight in green. Then I can go to my shield wall skill and make sure it is set to be only used by weapon set 1, and then do the same for my Fortifying Cry on weapon set 2. One thing to note is that this will not work without another weapon set, but that doesn't mean you need to completely farm a different weapon set in order to utilize this bonus. If you hover over your weapon set 1, you will notice a lock which allows you to use this weapon for both sets. The same goes for the shield. Right click on this to be able to use your main weapon and shield for both sets. This applies to all other weapon types as well. Using the abilities will now seamlessly transition between both sets just by using the skills. Next up is quests for passives. As you power through the campaign, you might decide to skip certain quests along the way. And if you haven't discovered the quest, it won't show you the possible bonuses you might be missing out on. These bonuses range from multiple skill points to increased spirit, increased life, increased mana, elemental resistances, stun resist, ailment resist, mana regen, etc. Next up is the Atlas. When you finish the campaign, you will begin your journey through the Atlas. Doriani will provide you with a waystone to put in the map device, and you will pick a direction you wish to travel. I recommend sticking to a single path to start and not branching out multiple ways from your starting point. As you branch out, you will be looking for corrupted areas which will have a corrupted nexus. Defeating the corrupted boss in the nexus will provide you with 5 passive points for your tree. You will also encounter certain events in your maps that will provide you with splinters. Expedition, Simulacrum, Breach, Ritual, and the soon-to-be added Abyss. You will need to collect 50 in order to activate the first boss encounter with them at the Realm Gate. Upon defeating a boss, you will be granted 2 passive points. And then, to progress further, you will need 100 splinters for the tier 2 version of the boss, and 150 for the tier 3 version of the boss. You will also notice red, blue, or white beams on the map. These are citadels, where you will fight a very difficult boss that you encountered during the campaign. Upon defeating this boss, they will drop fragments. Collecting all 3 and heading to the Burning Monolith will allow you to activate the boss fight for Arbiter. I recommend trying this as soon as you have the fragments, as you can keep trying the regular version as many times as you can in a single session, allowing you to learn the boss fight and its mechanics. You also still get the loot from the regular Arbiter fight. Next up is leveling gems. If you're coming from Path of Exile 1, you'll recognize gem cutter prisms, but in Path of Exile 2 they work a little bit differently. Each gem cutter prism will boost your quality by 5% each time. 20% is still your max, so make sure you use them. Right now, if you corrupt a gem using a Val Orb, you can either remove a level, gain a level, remove quality, gain quality, remove a socket, or have nothing happen at all. Once you corrupt a gem, it cannot be changed, but it can still be leveled up to its max. The best way to optimize getting a +1 skill on your gem is to use a cheaper, lower level gem. Jeweler to max sockets, quality it to 20%, and if you have it, use an Omen of Corruption pray to the Holy Trinity, and then if you hit it with a Val Orb and get your +1 skill, you can use your highest level uncut gem and enjoy. If you did miss the +1 skill and you get quality, we now have a Val Temple interaction that gives you another chance at getting your desired outcome, or just destroying it completely. Next up is crafting. This is something that usually changes slightly, depending on the theme of a season, but there are some important things to take note of when crafting in Path of Exile. If you ever wanted to use a fracturing orb on a specific mod, it is best to do it on an item that already has 4 mods on it, but you can make this even better for yourself because it is still a 1 in 4 chance. You can turn it into a 1 in 3 chance by having a desecrated mod that hasn't been unveiled on it. So if I wanted the 100% increased elemental damage with attacks, you know, every little bit counts in order to get that chance even just a little bit higher. So this is a better way to go about fracturing an item. Now, another thing I wanted to quickly go over was the wording for some of these items and how they're perceived at first look. So you can see on this ring here, it has max life, cold damage to attacks, lightning damage to attacks, resistances, and strength. Now, let's say you were looking on the trade site at this and you were thinking, well, you know what? I would actually just, like, if this was cheap on the website, but still not that cheap, but you know enough where you spend some divines on it and you're just thinking, I can use an Omen of Whittling on that cold damage to attacks and see if I can get something higher. Maybe I can get a fizz or something else I need. That's not always going to be the final outcome when using items a certain way. Now, it will tell you when you actually go to use an Omen of Whittling which mod it will take off, so you don't need to worry about that. But this isn't something you can check when you're on the marketplace and trying to find an item you want to buy and take a chance on, which can lead to you wasting your currency. So now a way to double check this would be to go on PoEDB and look at the ring mods here. And now you'll see that maximum life on tier 1 is actually item level 54. And if you look at cold damage to attacks tier 3, it's actually a level 60 modifier, which means that if you tried to buy this, you wasted your divines on it, and you went to go use an Omen of Whittling, you will notice that it is going to remove your life before that cold damage, completely removing your plans altogether and wasting your divines and time. So it's definitely something to consider when purchasing items off the market for a big investment. Lastly, I just wanted to go over the trade with Ange. You can go to Ange here and see the currency exchange for what you want and what you have. And you have a whole bunch of options here. This is probably something you've seen when you finish the campaign already, but to actually access the market, you hit the // button, you could pull it up here, and you can do all of the things that you could previously do in the web browser. You can also open the website here, clear your filters, do all that same stuff. It doesn't actually have the entire functionality that the website has. So you'll come across stuff like the allocation, gems, and stuff like that might not actually show up properly, but majority of the things work, and I'm sure they will fix it eventually because it has been reported. And one other thing you can do is you can open the website, and when you're here at the trade website, you can actually hit the tab history over here, and I obviously don't have anything here anymore because they've cleared it, but you will begin to see once you click the history tab over here. When you're on this web page, you can click the history tab over here and you don't see anything currently because they've all wiped it for the next season, but every time you sell an item, it will show up here how much it was sold for, and you can hover over it and it will show you what the item was that you sold, just in case you forget what you even posted for something, or you want to actually get an idea of the price without having to go through and look at everything, that kind of deal. And that's the end of the video. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.